Welcome to Fortune's Hiding Down Under TV. We were at the pub, but now we're back at home due to some technical difficulties. I've got Nathan here with me, and Kingy and Dave are elsewhere today. But Nate, good to see you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Just raced home really quickly to get here and have a good chat to you about the game, mate. And finally, we're talking about a couple of victories.
Absolutely. And thank fuck. It's
Amen to that.
It's good. It's good to be able to come in off the back of two, I wouldn't say emphatic victories, but two very, very important victories. So look, we'll touch on Olympiakos later on, but I think the Forest game's obviously fresh in both of our minds. What were your thoughts?
Well, mate, I want to start with selections, really. Like, I'm just starting to get sick of fucking Moisey, like, shoehorning people into positions regardless of, like, where they should play. It's almost like he's got this fucking list of, like, his top 20, right? And regardless of the injury, if he's got one injury, it's like, right, well, number 12 comes in, number 13, because, like, I don't understand what, like, if you look at Ben Rama's last two performances, I thought he was, like, very, very serviceable out there. And look, although Souček got the equaliser, and you watch Paqueta in the game, how often he just kept drifting into that midfield position.
Yeah. So just going to the lineup then, and more for my clarity. So the back four was as we've come to expect when everyone's fit. And then we had Alvarez, JWP, almost defensive. Paqueta, Souček, Kudus, and Bowen up front. I agree with you completely. I think we'll probably talk about JWP because I thought he had a really good game. But it's still interesting to see him put in that sort of defensive midfield position, and then you got Souček who's playing further forward. And I agree with what you said about Ben Rama. I thought he actually played all right. He struggled with confidence early on in the season, and you could just kind of see that starting to come back a little bit. And we've spoken about the balance he gives on that left-hand side. But again, Moyes changes it and tries to fit people in.
It's just like he can't do without fucking Souček being in the side like he does. I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot today, and for me personally, like, I think all he does, he gives you something in the box, whether it's defensive or attacking. He gives you something in the box, and Moyes must just always come back to that. Oh yeah, he won that header. Oh, he scored a goal, but he just leaves so much work for all of those midfielders to do without him. And who's really suffering? Like, if you have Paqueta in that 10 role, or even just adjusting like Ward-Prowse is, and Ward-Prowse goes higher, we just get so much better quality ball that is going to come into all those forwards running into the ball. Like, you watch most of the time, like, if Souček gets the ball and he's not in the box, he's a fucking crab. He either goes sideways or backwards. It's frustrating to watch.
Yeah. And I suppose it's a trade-off, isn't it? Like, you have him in there, and you get what we got today, which was, a last-minute winner, which we know he can do, or, a headed clearance to save a point or 3 points. But then the argument is, if you've got someone in there instead of him that's doing more, we'd be 2-3-0 up anyway. So you're not relying on him to do that sort of that donkey work.
That's what I tend to agree with you there, mate. And I mean, if you look at how we went into the game, like, we got our first goal within a couple of minutes. I think it was about 3 or 4 minutes from there.
Gift of a goal, really, wasn't it?
It was very fortuitous, like a big deflection. I mean, one thing I would say, which I give credit to Moisey and the coaching staff, is the way that we've played, at least, I'm trying to think, probably since the Arsenal game, like, how much higher up the pitch we're starting to press a little bit more is good to see. But I actually think this is where it sort of comes undone with Souček as well. Like, because if he's that 10, he should be in there supporting in behind the striker or going the way that the ball, like if we're trying to press him to the left, like he needs to be going in there and like creating that overload. But he's the first person that drops back and sits in. So who's going to do it? Like once they got past that, and it happened sort of after the goal, we start to sit in because we've only got 3 pressing when we, I think King was talking about it in one of the last pods we did. We almost become like that defensive and that attacking team, don't we?
Yeah. I just don't. I don't think he's not a number 10, so we shouldn't be playing him there. And then if it becomes a question of whether we play, 2 of Alvarez, Souček, and Ward-Prowse, well, you make a call and you leave one of them out. Because I think, look, I suppose the good thing is that, the last couple of games have shown that Moyes is actually willing to try a couple of things now and do things differently. I like Bowen up front through the middle. I did think he was a bit anonymous the first half today. I didn't think he really got himself too involved. Not that it was his fault necessarily, but he didn't do an awful lot. But he was certainly fired up the second half, especially after that foul that wasn't given. You could see him sort of lift and raise. So I think it's definitely still not perfect, and it is a difficult job looking at the players that we've got, getting the right players on the pitch, because a couple of games ago we were saying, or I was certainly saying, that JWP looked a little bit pedestrian, and if he's not curling the corners onto people's heads or putting free kicks in, what does he offer? And then you see him today, and he's probably the reason that we won the game. So, it is a difficult.
Some of his delivery today was.
Oh, it's frightening. It's frightening. So it is hard to, I suppose, to get the balance, and you've got to start Kudus now as well, because you can't leave him out. I'm genuinely pleased that Antonio didn't start. I think that was a real positive from the day. Again, not aimed at Antonio necessarily, but there's other players that should be on the pitch ahead of him. So who do you think played well? Who do you think played well today?
Oh, look,
last night.
I enjoyed watching the game. Like it was, goals are fun to watch, right? And we were definitely trying to score probably more than we got in the end. I thought James Ward-Prowse had a really, really good game. He was strong. He worked his bollocks off for the entire match as well. He probably stood out for me more than any. Paqueta did well, but I think Paqueta was like probably a bit better in the first half than the second. But I always think that like when we were going forward after we scored the goal, like, we always had it. The whole team just pretty much had a touch of the Ben Ramas, Like, we just fucking did a decision to make at the right time, and it was sort of, you could see the effort, but you couldn't see them have the balls to just go and make that decision and go. Like sometimes, like you'd watch them and you could see a ball that should be sprayed out to the left hand side, and then we keep going down the same way. It was a bit frustrating at times. So, but look, man of the match for me, I reckon, have to be James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think he was really good. I thought having Zuma back made a difference as well at the back, especially from their set pieces and their balls into the box.
I agree with you on the set pieces. I've watched it over and over again. Like, I reckon he was the first goal. Like, granted, I actually think it was a foul in the build-up. Like, if you watch it over, like the fella has just pushed Souček over. Anyway, that didn't happen, but he just didn't react. And he just turned and started trotting. So I'm not sure if he's like 100% fit and he just got rushed back in. But then from the second goal, like again just gets he gets sucked out to the right hand side. There's only one out there who crossed the ball in wide. But then that led to Zuma being he was sort of drawn into that sort of near post, and he left Sufal with 2 to mark. So it was, he did do a lot of things well, Zuma. But yeah, there's something that's fundamentally wrong with our communication at the back, because both of those goals, take the fucking refereeing decision out of it. We should have done better than we did with both of them. I think we could have dealt with them quite easily.
Do you think Areola should have done better with the first one?
Yeah, probably, but I don't know. I think if there's a quicker reaction from our central defenders, they track their runner a lot better than that. So I mean, it's almost like Zuma thought that there might have been a foul, and he said, "Oh, all right," and then it just never got called back. So
that's fair enough. I thought, I mean, to be honest, their second goal was well worked. But I think they probably were both avoidable. I didn't think Forest were that bad, really. They didn't look like a team that I would say, they're definitely going to go down. They made it difficult, and I think they contributed to a good game. They played. I think they may even brought us out of our shell a little bit second half with the way that they were going for it, and it did make for a good game to watch. And we always say that we'd love to to watch games that are 3-2, 4-3, and have a bit of entertainment. And it did. There was things that we could have done better, but it was just refreshingly different to what we've been used to. Over the last few weeks. The first half, we got the goal and that set us up really well. I did think we sort of went back to type a little bit after we'd scored, and we invited them on. And I wasn't surprised to see him equalise, to be honest. But it was just it was good to see us go for it and get stuck in. It was a good game. The referee made a few dodgy calls.
I think you mentioned it before, but that is in the second half there where Bowen was like clearly being held back in a 2v1 situation, and he got nothing out of it. He lost his shit, and I'm pretty sure they ended up going down and having a shot on goal.
I'm pretty sure they did.
That was fucking woeful. That was a woeful decision, but.
And in the context of the season, it was such a needed result. With 5 minutes to go, because it could have gone either way, really. I think I always believed that if anyone was going to win it, it was going to be us. But it was also set up so that you could see them nicking one. As well, and it was a massive goal for us, especially with the international break coming up. Those extra 3 points back in the top half, psychologically that's going to be a big boost. I think there could have been big trouble if we'd lost that game, but it was just fucking good, just good.
It was. We definitely needed it. It was actually the start of this, from the last international break to now, where we sort of, the wheels have fallen off a little bit. So, So interesting. I heard one of the commentators say that, and it didn't surprise me, but it's really poor when you think about the amount of games we've had. Moyes has used 20 players, right, which is the least amount in the entire Premier League.
Yeah.
So,
that just shows his stubbornness, doesn't it?
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely not a madness.
Yeah.
Today, you think about some of the kids we've got on the bench, that aren't making the bench, that are in that under 21 squad. What are people like, Cresswell and there's others that I can't think of off the top of my head. Kara, like if they're not in our long-term plans, like why are they there? Like, come on for the 97th minute today. Like I get we were wasting time, but if that's all he's going to be used for, fucking give it to Ashby. What's the other one's name? It's Ollie Scholes. Is he the left back from the? Yeah,
Scholes.
Give them that minute, Like I don't know. There's definitely some frustrating things. I'm glad we won because we fucking needed it. With nothing else, like you said, we could have been 16th today, I think, if we lost.
Yeah.
Just fucking scary.
Yeah, it's the Thursday Sunday games. It is difficult. I don't care what anyone says. It's a lot. It seems to be a lot more difficult than if you're playing Wednesday, Saturday. And we've got players that could be getting time and they're not. I couldn't believe it when Obama came on the other night on against Olympiakos. I just thought,
just sitting there in shock, huh?
I mean, it was the right thing to do. Of course it was. But why? You just scratch your head sometimes. I heard that in the commentary that we've used 20 players in the league, and you can believe it because he doesn't like to change things, and the fact that he has hopefully sees a bit of change now, because Antonio for me he shouldn't be starting. I like him coming on the last 20 minutes.
He put himself about it, didn't he?
He did, yeah. So look, a great win. I wouldn't say it was an absolutely fantastic performance, but it was a good performance.
It was.
It's solid enough, something to build on. And keeps things interesting. We're top half, quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup. We're still top of the group in Europe. And you think the games that we've lost, the way that we have played, we can still go on and have a good crack from here.
Without question, mate. I'm not. I think we're still some great opportunities. I was reading something this morning. Well, I think we've got like 10 games in December. So we come back from the break. We play Burnley. That's our last game in November, and then we've got 10 games in December. Like, they come fucking thick and fast. So he's got to change his philosophy a little bit there, or we're going to end up with injury, or players are just going to be cooked, aren't they?
Well, we come back. We've got Burnley, and then we're away in Romania, or Serbia. Sorry,
the Serbian Gypsies.
So, getting my Gypsies mixed up. So you've got to be looking at coming back and winning those two games.
Absolutely.
Just purely looking at the opposition. Doesn't matter who's fit, who's not. You've got to win them too, and hopefully then that kickstarts a better run for December. But,
if we win the European game against Bactola or whatever the fucking name is, that's like, it takes so much pressure off, doesn't it? That pretty much means we'll top the group. Which hopefully then we can play the kids, and there's another free kick against Freiburg at home.
I think I'd have to look at the group. I think Freiburg would have to absolutely batter us to top the group, but look, I think we'll win in Serbia. I've no doubt about that. What did you think of the Olympiakos game? It was
equal points. So, good question. I really think that they were playing for a draw for a lot of the game. And we tried. We knocked them so many times, and I think I even said it in our group. It was just that one little piece of fucking magic, wasn't it, from JWP to think differently, and like just knock one over the top, and it fell to the perfect person because Peter fucking buried it beautifully, didn't he?
Yeah. I thought, I didn't think we were great. It was largely frustrating. I think we won almost because they gave us enough chances to stick one away in the end. But given where we were before that game, you'd take it, right? You take the win, you move on. It wasn't pretty, but it kept us on track. So yeah, I don't think it's one that'll be keeping handy to rewatch over and over again. Can sign that one to the history books.
No. Oh fuck yeah! That's probably one of those things you say. The said about it, the better. We'll take it and jog on. Probably a little bit like the Forest game too, but probably a little bit more entertainment in the Forest game than the Goalmouth. So
absolutely, it was a good watch. It really was. So we'll our next show now won't be till a week on Thursday because there's no games next weekend. So for anybody wanting to tune in on Thursday, unfortunately, we'll be having a week off. Kingy's not here tonight because he's down in Sydney for the Queensland Hairdresser of the Year award. So best of luck, Kingy. You're an hour ahead there, so you might know the outcome already, but hopefully you win. And Dave's obviously been watching West Ham for so long.
Is it a national one?
It's a national one, but he's up for Queensland of the Year, Queensland Hairdresser.
Oh, okay. Copy.
Yeah. Right. And Dave is suffering with a migraine, probably from listening to us too much. But hopefully we're all back for the next show and ready to preview the Burnley game and get excited all over again. But look,
winners are grinners.
Absolutely. It's been a tough few weeks, but a couple of victories to get us back on track, and things are looking rosy again. Nate, thanks for joining. Glad we were still able to get the show out.
Someone's going to do it right.
Yeah. One thing left to say then. Go on, you Irons.
Go on, your Irons. Cheers, guys.